going to be reacting to a video on Swarm, and they explained by Think Story. It's not even this long. Let's give it a go.
From the guy who brought you Teddy Perkins and This Is America comes a show so unhinged, I was like...
What was going on in this scene, yeah? Where she was with that guy and they were eating. I was like, what the hell am I watching, bruh? I was like, what the hell am I watching? From start to finish is exactly what I was doing. From the first episode to the last episode, I was like, what the hell? Like, what have I put myself into?
But I remember watching this episode. I was so scared for the guy. I was like, this dude is dead.
Yeah, at my point, I was like, anybody this girl comes across, she's gonna kill.
Yep.
Like, everybody.
She
and anytime I was like, oh my god, this guy's gonna die. You know?
Yeah, but this particular scene offed me. So she was like, just give it a go, like have a taste, and then next thing they became animals. Like it was basically animalistic instinct. Yeah, it was freaking gross, man. From episode 1 to the end was gross. Oh wait, before we even go forward, I was like talk about the first few minutes of the show. Damson Idris and Chloe Bailey. Okay.
A friend of mine sent me like a clip on Twitter just before I watched the show, and it was like, oh, I'm going to watch the show now. I was like,
because of that.
I was like, okay. But then again, I think I had it on my list as what I was going to see when it did come out. And then I did see the show. It was a good one, but it was completely weird.
Unhinged.
I was just like, and it obviously felt like something Donald Glover would put his hand in. So
yeah, I mean, with the influence of Atlanta, but this is like miles away. And I like the way it starts off like, this is not a work of fiction. Any relation to anyone is absolutely not coincidental.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, and obviously, anybody that has seen it would definitely pick what they want to pick from it. As you know what, everybody just go crazy, and I know everybody would have an idea of what and who the movie was pretty much about, and you just go in and just pick information from it, and you'll be like,
makes sense.
So like, quick synopsis, what's basically about is an obsessed Houston-based fan goes to increasingly violent lengths for her favorite R&B singer. This is something that a lot of people do. Like, sometimes I'm like, get alive. Like, if you want to listen to someone's music, like, why don't you just be for the arts and not the artists? You can like who they are as a person, but you just, for me, like, sometimes try as much as possible to detach yourself from the artists and just be for the arts. Do you understand? If you want to go a step further and just like who they are as a person, just be that. You don't have to obsess over. You have your own life, for God's sake. Live it. You can enjoy their music without having to be super obsessed about who they are. They like have a show. Go for the show. Enjoy yourself with your friends. Like, you know what? Like, let it just be what it is. Let it be the art. Enjoy what they've made, the masterpiece, the art, and all of that. You don't have to go all, this is my person for life and all. I know sometimes people relate deeply to specific music, specific arts, and all of that, and that's fine. The music probably would have taken you from a dark place to a better place, because maybe you could relate so much to the words and on the lyrics and everything, which is fine. Appreciate them. Do all of that. It's fine. It's just the fact that people go through or go to certain lengths just because of, anyways. It's just me. It's from my own point of view. I don't know. Other people see things differently, and it's fine. Like,
I agree.
I don't even want to go off on this because it's a whole other discussion entirely, and I'm not an authority in anything. Everybody can live their life the way they want to live their life, but yeah, that's just.
I agree as well. I mean, even if you want to live for the artist, it's like nobody else. Like, this girl is clearly unhinged. I mean, and we've heard that it's based on true stories or a true story. It's inspired by real life events. So that means someone is out there, or some persons are out there living this way, you know? It's like, if you even want to live your life for the artist, then do you. No one's like really at you for that. But don't go ahead dicing people on the regular, like non-stop, just because of that.
Just because they say they don't like this artist, you just go and off them.
But would you think it's just entirely a person's fault? What about the artists themselves? Like, some artists don't go out of their way to make it known that I'm human just like you are.
You can't even say that is the reason why it would be. Like, I don't even see that as a reason. I'm just seeing it as common sense.
That's cool. It might be, but like, some artists actually see themselves as God. Like, they like being deified just like a god is. And, well, you know, the masses are going to be the masses. There's somebody there that can be tweaked just like that. I mean, it all works in the artist's favor anyway. If you have an unhinged fan, it's clout. If you have normal fans, it's clout. So I guess it's win-win for the artist, but some people die anyway.
Yeah,
it's ridiculous, man. Yeah, you're going on about the synopsis.
Yeah, that's pretty much what it is.
But that's it.
That's just it. Like, that is just what the whole movie is. It's just this girl just going about killing people that does not like her. Her favorite artist, Niger, is the name. You know,
how many Grammys does your favorite artist? What's your favorite
she just
artist?
asks, who's your favorite artist? And the person says, oh, it's this person who is not Niger, obviously. And she'll be like, how many Grammys does your Niger has 20 something Grammys, yours does not have at all, just has 1 Grammy. Niger has the greatest, this and that. And just for that, she just will kill you off. And then she had this Stan account where anybody in the comments goes off about, oh, how her artist is crazy or is not like the best artist. She just finds information, just like in Missing. She finds information on the person on the internet and she just goes and kills the person off. So yeah, it's crazy.
It's ridiculous. Yeah.
Amazon Swarm is a supremely messed up character study on obsession, addiction, and a reminder to never mess with Beyonce fans. In this video, we'll be taking a deep dive into the hive.
This dude is like going straight up and saying like facts. This is Beyonce. But do you notice how throughout the show, whenever they like pull up the tweets or like a paper, they censored it, right?
Yeah.
So I wondered if we should do the same. Should we be as bold as this guy or as reluctant as Donald Glover?
We're already doing it.
We're already doing it. We're finished.
Yeah, he's just saying what it is. I don't know if it's based off. I don't know if it's, you know, who you think it is, but yeah, just watch it and draw your own conclusions.
Yeah, I mean, we've drawn ours.
Yeah, so just listen.
Its ending and some of the real-life inspiration for Swarm. So sit back, grab some delicious pie, because here we go. Swarm is not your traditional narrative, told across 7 episodes at roughly 35 minutes each. It's a character study into Andrea Dre Green, a young black woman and her obsession with influential pop star Nyjah. The name Nyjah comes from Arabic meaning a beautiful rose, apt considering she becomes Dre's object of affection. But to fully understand how Dre's obsession manifests and how she turns into a pie-eating serial killer, we have to understand where Dre came from. In an interview with Variety, co-creator and showrunner Janine Nabbers refers to Dre as an alien. In fact, in episode 1, you can see a documentary about aliens in the background. Dre is an alien in her own world.
An alien?
I was just saying.
She's not human. Okay. I mean, I could see that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense.
She is different and yearns for acceptance, and this acceptance stems from her abandonment as a child. A lot of Dre's upbringing is a mystery. In fact, the showrunner says, quote, "There's a mystery as to how Dre got to where she was, and that's okay. It's okay to not know everything." So while we may not have answers to what made Dre the monster she becomes,
like, she's not really like an alien.
Very tragic picture. According to Dre, or Tony as Dre goes by in the last episode, Dre's parents are dead. They lived on a farm where Dre says the sight of blood was common. However, we can't take any of this at face value because we know Dre is an unreliable narrator. Sometimes we'll see things from her perspective and it's a hallucination. Sometimes
exactly. There's that as well. It's like the story in some way is incomplete because
it was somehow inconsistent. Honestly, at some point I'm like, okay, I'm following, and then the next thing I'm like wondering what I just watched. Like I'm wondering what's going on.
But that's done intentionally.
Yeah, obviously it's not like it was a mistake.
Nah.
But then it was just the way it was playing with the whole thing. It's some form of filming style or something. But yeah, very inconsistent, honestly.
After sneaking into the after party. At some point, Dre went to live with her grandmother, and as we learned from Eva's therapy session in episode 4, there was some sort of abrupt death. It's not known whether Dre killed her grandmother or witnessed a terrible accident.
Hold on, is that Billie Eilish?
Oh, you didn't know?
I did not know.
Wait. You watched this and you didn't know that was Billie Eilish?
Hold up, I think I skipped this episode.
Come on, bro.
Bloody hell. What episode was this?
I can't remember. I think it was the second to the last episode.
Oh my god.
It was only the last episode. I think it was the last episode. I think, yeah. Like, how would you watch this and you didn't know it was Billie Eilish?
I skipped it. Like, he showed her before, then he showed her again. I'm like, hold up, that's Billie.
It was good. It was good. She did a very good job, honestly.
Oh my.
Yeah, she wasn't acting like it was her first time.
Yeah, acting, eh?
Accident, but we do know it was with her grandmother that she first heard Nyjah. There's mention of milk being the color red, her grandmother's blood. Dre refers to her grandmother's blood as spilled milk, something she'll also use to describe the aftermath of the slumber party stabbing.
She was sorry she spilled the milk. I didn't know what that meant.
It's totally within the realm of possibility that Dre dissociates and instead of seeing blood on the floor, it's spilled milk. Just like how she thought she was seeing a fruit, but it was Nyjah, and how we'll later see Nyjah, but with Marissa's face. But we'll unpack that whole can of worms in a bit. Not much is known about this grandmother's death, but shortly after, Dre was put into foster care. This is where she is adopted by the Jacksons. The sad thing about this story is that she was adopted not because this family wanted her, but they needed a paycheck. As Harris Jackson tells her in episode 5, between his mother's medical bills and failing business, they were in desperate need of money, and when you take someone into foster care, you get money to help pay for the child. So already this is not a decision made out of the goodness of their heart. Yet Dre and Marissa became good friends. The two of them bonded over their love for Nyjah. However, Dre was still seen as a weirdo at school. We see some home video footage of her being ridiculed at the school's talent show, and an interview with a fellow classmate who talks about her with disdain. But I guess that's what happens.
Smack about her to this very day. She's like, she was weird. I didn't find anything weird about her performance. I just saw a cute kid.
Yeah, honestly, I was trying to figure that out though, but yeah, I don't know. Maybe it was something after or during or before, And I think when you just have already associated someone like being weird, generally, I think every other thing the person just does just seems weird to you. Yeah. So I think pretty much is what was going on, I guess. I don't know.
What's that whole spilled milk situation?
I think I can't really remember the scene perfectly, but there was something about spilled milk being red. Yeah. So I think she did kill somebody, but she has kind of dissociated how she's caught herself off. That's killing and blood is not, a problem to her. She's saying it as spilled milk.
Spilled milk.
It's white. It's not blood. Do you get?
Yeah.
That's how psychotic she is. That's how it is in her brain.
Yeah. Okay. Weird.
Nearly broken and you're stabbed by Dre. Yes, at a slumber party, Dre believes Marissa is in danger and completely goes off on Gwen here, putting her in the hospital. This is the event that triggers the Jacksons to return Dre to foster care. Harris also had a suspicion that Dre was a lesbian and didn't want that around his daughter, so this provided him a reason to get rid of her. Unbeknownst to the Jacksons, Marissa would later go on to live with Dre in Houston, and it's Marissa's subsequent suicide which is the main catalyst for Dre's downward spiral. Using a credit card, Dre purchases 2 tickets to Nyjah, one as a gift for Marissa, but Marissa tells her she can't go.
This is where I actually started associating Nyjah with like real life, queen of
it was so expensive. The ticket was so expensive. I was like, who does that?
And recently, tickets were like 2K, so like that's when I was like instantly
it's mad. I did see that as well in my head. I just went back to I was like, nah, this is what it is. I just instantly.
Go because she'll be in Atlanta with her boyfriend. This is a huge blow for Dre, who sees the only person who's been kind to her entire life slowly being ripped away by this asshole boyfriend. So she decides to go for a night on the town, but her phone runs out of
This bit completely surprised me. It was like she became a totally different
person. Yeah.
Yeah.
And Loki, she kind of blames herself. She was like, maybe if she had not done this, she probably would have been able to save her.
Yeah.
And all of that, so...
battery when Marissa needs her the most. In an earlier scene, we see a scar on Marissa's wrist, suggesting that she attempted suicide in the past. The boyfriend cheats on Marissa, but Dre is nowhere to be found when she needs her. So when Dre finds Marissa seemingly overdosed, she blames herself for not being there. Because of her past, Dre isn't even allowed to attend the funeral.
I did not see this coming.
Same.
I didn't see it coming. I was just watching it like, basically just, going off. Just like, oh yeah, every other show, she's coming to just find some sort of comfort with him. And based on the fact that they are both experiencing some, pain. And then she just ran from behind with the thing and just hit him on the head. I was like, what? What?
Over.
Damn.
And over and over again. Actually, when she came in, I was watching this with my girlfriend and I was like, don't let that girl in. That's what I said. Don't let that girl in. And then I was like, okay, man, you're dead. You're totally dead. But then when they started talking, I relaxed. My guard was down and dude was like, can I make you tea? I actually thought something was going to happen. He was probably going to drug her, rape her. Since it's obviously an asshole, right?
Is it like, what, he was the first she killed, yeah?
Yeah, first person she killed. The next thing, she bludgeons the guy to freaking down. Then the next part is what after the deaths, that's what really the death was upsetting. But what happened after really upset me. She reached into the fridge to grab food.
She started eating. I think what I was picking from that vibe was whenever she does something like that, she gets hungry, or basically she just eats.
What makes her hungry? You just kill her. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, she's overexerted herself and she needs to replace the calories she just lost. That's what I'm getting from it.
I don't know. She just eats every time, and most of the time it's disgusting because she eats like an animal.
Yeah, and then she starts laughing afterwards.
Yeah.
Oh, come on.
Eventually killing Khalid. This leads her to spiral out of control, eventually killing Khalid, Marissa's ex, as an act of revenge. This is followed by her reaching into the fridge and devouring a pie, even as she has blood still all over her hands. The show doesn't give us an explanation for this, but food, particularly junk food, is a common motif throughout the season. In her interview with Variety, the showrunner states that serial killers like Jeffrey Dahmer and the Night Stalker had strange connections with food. So Dre's connection seems to be heavily inspired by these guys. Dahmer, for example, worked at a chocolate factory where some believe he disposed of bodies in chocolate, while the Night Stalker would rummage through the fridges of those he murdered. Food becomes a method to which Dre can disassociate from the world. It takes her mind off the violent, traumatic experience she just went through. With the death of Khalid, Dre begins a violent...
That bit confused me. So, she kills the girl's boyfriend. And the girl is clearly she's clearly alright with it. But then she's like, oh, he has a gun. And she's like, where's the gun? And she gives it to her and then she shoots her as well. I'm like, what is going on?
She's, like you said, she's unhinged.
She is.
I'm like, I remember I was like, oh, now you have an accomplice, someone that is going to, always be with you because you guys share the same secret. And the next thing, she just kills her off. I was like, what?
Without remorse, no second thoughts.
I was like, I think she was like, just keep quiet. And I think she was just tired of hearing her talk. And that's why she just killed her.
Yeah, she was. So that girl was annoying, man.
She was talking. I was like, I don't think I can continue with this. And the next thing, she just ups her.
God damn, man.
Journey that takes her all across the country, with each murder, with the exception of the ones in episode 4, being inspired by actual real-life events. Rashida's death was inspired by a murder on the...
Now, do you notice that she's dressed like Kanye West in that clip? Why? What did Kanye do?
I don't know, bro. I don't know.
Murder from the events wanted for murder from the events of episode 2. What the show doesn't really hold back is Nija's connection to Beyonce. In episode 6, they actually bleep out Beyonce's name and blur.
Yeah. Yes.
References to an obsessed fan rushing the stage at a Jay-Z concert where Beyonce was on stage. We see Becky with the good hair, a fierce pillow, a 2007 Beyonce Experience ticket, not to mention Beyonce was born in Houston where much of the show takes place. Also, I just love the totally not subtle Helen.
That was so funny.
When I saw that, I was like, hell no.
What's going on, man? It was crazy, bro.
It was like
that. Dre's journey has her in remission, or at least that's what it looks like. She doesn't have a phone, it feels more comfortable in her.
Yeah, we have Kiersey.
Poor girl, man.
Yeah,
poor girl.
She just got tangled to this. So was sad.
Yeah, I mean, I've known this girl since I was a kid. So, like, seeing her die in the show was like, I've seen her on TV since I was a kid. So, seeing her die, this was actually the worst death for me. So, I thought Dre had found someone she could be normal with. For just 2 seconds, I was like, maybe Dre is going to be normal. But I know in the back of my mind there was this nagging feeling like, this girl is dead.
No way.
And she just went off about how she hated Niger and
Dre knew from the beginning, bro.
that she did. Yeah,
she knew from the beginning.
Yeah.
I think she snapped at some point when she just kept telling her, like, she just snapped.
Did you see where she walked up to her and like just put her hand down and she didn't fight? Like,
A normal person, you're not paying rent. You spend that much money on a ticket when
Same
you could have used.
with Dre.
Do you get?
Yeah.
When you would have used that money for something much more reasonable, and you know I don't even like this artist. Like, what the hell?
Oh man.
Intersexuality and establishes what seems to be a healthy relationship with a woman named Rashida. Even when Rashida tells her on night 1 that she doesn't like Nyjah, Dre doesn't kill her. It's only until shit hits the fan later on that Dre relapses and we get the show's wild ending. Much like Dre wanted to surprise Marissa with Nyjah tickets in episode 1, we've come full circle with Dre surprising Rashida with tickets. Now, Rashida is understandably pissed. She's told Dre multiple times that she hates Nyjah and has grown to resent Dre, who constantly brings Nyjah up as one of their top 5 topics of conversation in their relationship. Not to mention, Dre is broke. Rashida's been paying her cut of the rent, and those tickets are thousands of dollars. Rashida can't believe how selfish Dre is and goes off on her, resulting in Dre killing her to death.
Man,
she just wanted to share Nyjah with her because she loves her. Unfortunately, Dre forgets the tickets she bought are now on the burning corpse of Rashida, and if she's going to make that concert, she must devise a
this
new way
bit,
inside. So she does
this
what anyone
part 2 annoyed the shit out of me. This dude was about to sell her those tickets and she
Killed him.
is what any rational person would do and kills a scalper. At the concert, Dre approaches the stage as if in some sort of trance, but what transpires next is all a hallucination. Nyjah orders security to let Dre go, and in one of the weirdest moments of the entire
title of this
Nyjah's
episode?
face is that of Marissa.
Only God
Dre's
can
2
perform
obsessions have
miracles or
molded
something like
into
that.
one. Her 2 loves have literally combined. In episode 1, Dre makes a promise to Marissa that they'll one day meet her, and this is a fucked up way of fulfilling that.
We have to meet her one day. Promise me.
We will. I promise.
Nyjah asks her to sing, a callback to her talent show. The 2 leave the concert together with Dre saying thank you as she cries on Nyjah's chest. This harkens back to Dre's dream of meeting Nyjah in episode 1.
And she'll invite us back to her house for dinner. I could feel it.
This is her dream of being invited back to Nyjah's with her best friend, but in reality she's probably being taken to jail in the back of a police car. It's likely Dre will be put away for good. We have a detective on her
Loretta
Yeah. That was the only episode that tied in like properly, that felt like the whole thing was real, and started to make sense and tie into, who the story may be about and all of that. That was the only episode that actually made sense to me, in my opinion. That, but I'm not saying the other episodes didn't make sense, but I mean, make sense in the sense that I was trying to get, it felt normal. I was trying to get a sense of what was really going on, though it was feeling like a reality TV show or something, but how just going to the life of that particular detective and how she solved the case and everything, which is so like you should find everything on the internet. Like you find every single thing on the internet. I was able to just find the deaths, find and match things together, and everything just kind of synced up,
traced back to her. What started as a story about obsession in Houston ends as a story about obsession in Houston.
That's clever.
What do you think of Swarm? Is it worth a watch, or is this a pass? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching, everyone. Be sure to like.
So, Swarm is what to watch. I won't say to pass this. This is probably one of the biggest series of the year, and the year is just beginning. So, everyone should definitely give this a watch, right?
Yeah. It's if you're in for weird and crazy milk spilling, milk spilling, you should see it. It's all good. It's all good in my opinion. I enjoyed it, but I think I watched it passively. And I wasn't very active while watching it, so I probably would have missed a bits of things here and there. But yeah, it was a nice one to watch regardless. When it started to make sense for me, and then I would put the whole thing together. So
yeah, I found the show like horribly disgusting. And the one selling point about the show is the creators, the director Daniel Glover. Donald Glover. Donald Glover. I mean, we've seen him in Community, right? He steps off Community and starts chasing his own projects. He's like a polymath: music, acting, direction, fashion. And he releases Atlanta, which is epic.
I love Atlanta, bro. I love. Oh man,
I haven't seen it yet.
It reminded me of that episode where his baby mama went off with a baguette on someone.
That's actually what I was about to segue into. Like Swarm and that episode it seems like almost similar, right?
There's so much inconsistency.
Oh man,
but consistency.
It's like it's just like the order and chaos things. Like in the inconsistency, there's consistency. What is consistent is that this is inconsistent.
you just enjoy Atlanta in some way, and you would relate to some certain things, and it's just crazy how there's this theme and this vibe to Atlanta.
Yeah,
it's not dark, but it's dark.
It's not dark, but it's dark.
It's kind of cloudy, like it's about to rain, but it's not raining. It's just a lot of things going on, and Atlanta is really cool. I really enjoy Atlanta. Like every time a new season comes out, I just go off, watch it weekly, and I just enjoy every single episode. Like there was one episode where it was kind of something about his daughter being in Tyler Perry, one of Tyler Perry's studio. I don't know if you've seen that.
No, I haven't.
He was the one that acted as Tyler Perry. It was just fat guy. Like he did the whole makeup on and everything. It was just like, what the hell am I watching? Yes, the latest season, or an episode from the latest season, it was just a lot of things. And then we have what's his name, the rapper's name, Paper Boy. Paper Boy, and we have Lakeith. All those characters just tie in and makes the whole thing so fluid and so beautiful to watch. It's an amazing show. Anybody wants to see that, you should see
Check it out.
Atlanta.
To go from Atlanta to Swarm, it kind of shows the type of person Donald is. He doesn't want to be tied to what. He doesn't want to be known just for one thing. He doesn't want to be known as the guy that was in Community, or the guy that's doing Atlanta. Then he hops onto this project, which is kind of like an amalgamation of different real life stories. And it's so blunt in its approach. There's no holding back in this show. Yeah. The show is disgusting. Like, frankly, it's gross. So there was this time when she was breaking into a house, right? She broke through the window and she didn't even give a damn about the glass entering her legs. The episode with the guy eating all the bunch of chips and whatnot. And I was like, what's wrong with this girl? And we've seen you, right? I mean, Joe is like right there on the screen. We've seen you. Joe is clearly lost. But this girl is, just like we said in the beginning, unhinged, irritating and stuff. And I don't know how to put it together.
I think the thing is why she wasn't even quickly spotted as like these deaths and things going on. Like it was because I think she was so sloppy that you would not even think twice that this is someone, like it's even a lady that is doing all of this. She was just so sloppy.
Yeah.
Like you'd see Joe trying to be very articulate and trying to cover his tracks the best way he can, But then you see her just doing things like a fucking maniac, man.
Just
Randomly, like, I'm like, oh God.
I was asking myself from the beginning, like, when is somebody going to run this chick down? Just like push her off the road. And I actually thought that big guy in episode 3 or 4 was going to kill her. The guy, you know, the guy that she hit with the pan.
She was lucky.
She was lucky.
And it's crazy how evil people get lucky and they live long.
Yeah.
It's really crazy because it's just crazy. And I think another thing was she was always she was constantly on the move. She was dynamic. She was never really in one place.
Yeah.
So you won't easily just be able to tie these killings, you know, together. Once she does something here, she moves all over to the next place, and she was just all over the place.
She was bouncing like an IP address.
A VPN.
I tell you, like, she's just everywhere. Like, I love the show. It's incredible, but I hate the character, like, from the depths of my heart. I do not. There's some psychopaths.
I think she has done her job then.
She has. I mean, mission accomplished. Great.
Yeah.
There's some psychopaths I love. I mean, Makishima Shoujo from Psychopaths, or Joe from You, or, you know,
Negan from The Walking Dead.
Imagine,
He's
right?
An amazing villain.
Hannibal from Hannibal, or from Silence of the Lamb. But this is the one psychopath I can't get behind. I cannot get behind her methods. I can't get behind her motives.
There's a madness to the method. There's a madness to a
There's
madness.
a madness.
There is actually a madness. It's crazy, bro.
Oh man, it's ridiculous. And this whole relating her to a real life artist. If this girl exists, I do not want to be anywhere near the US.
Oh, seems like you don't like the artist.
I'm not really a fan. I'm not a big fan. I mean, at the end of the day,
it is what it is.
It is what it is. I mean, that's my opinion. I'm not really. I love a few of her music, but I'm not a big fan.
Okay, you don't like Niger. Noted.
No. Wait, we cut that part out. I'm gonna find me. But yeah, man, that's pretty much the show. Yeah,
that's you. I don't even think we could have just decided to do like, you know, like the normal drill down we usually do with the other episodes of, you know, because what the hell are we gonna say?
It'll probably be like 10 hours of like nitpicking.
Yeah,
I like this part from the episode, key scenes and whatnot. But yeah, if you enjoyed this episode, please leave a comment in our YouTube page, Povcorn, or the Povcorn Podcast. You can find us on Instagram at pov.corn. That is pov.con. I would like to hear your thoughts on the Swarm series. If you love Dana Glover as well, would like to hear that. So yeah, anything else, Chris?
I'm good.
You're good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been one hell of a show. Yeah, thank you guys.
Peace.